right. So we're here with Esteban Contreras.
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 Ah.
Nice. From Samsung Electronics. Everyone knows Samsung. I love them. First of all, why did Samsung do this conference? It's a little different. So what drew you to this conference? What made it interesting?
I think I haven't seen that many conferences that are about what companies are doing.
Right.
So if you go to 140 Conf, it's more like, okay, all kinds of people doing all kinds of interesting things on Twitter. If you go to South by Southwest, there's augmented reality, technology, super big. This was something small. You can get to maybe meet a few people, get to actually know them, and then I was reached to actually speak. So when somebody asks you to speak, it's something you consider, and this one was something I could do, and it's exciting to be a part of this. So.
That's great. That's great. And how do you feel that you mentioned on the panel, which was very interesting, that Twitter shaped Samsung's, social media identity. Can you just go a little bit into that? I think that's fascinating for most people.
Yeah, I think what I said was it really shaped our customer-centric approach.
Okay.
And basically, if you know Samsung, we're a manufacturer, and so we make products. And usually the way Samsung saw itself for most of its history was, let's sell all these things, all these great products and great technologies to other companies. And so there's a lot of the electronics that you use that don't say Samsung on the logo, they're actually made by Samsung. In the inside, the battery, other parts of and components of those devices. And so Samsung used to see, okay, we have carriers, mobile carriers, we have other companies, we have retailers. Those are the people that are our customers, and then of course there are the end customers. But how do you reach them, and how do you talk to them? We have traditional advertising, and that's one way, but that's a one-way communication. And then you have email CRM, which is email, and then people can engage a little bit with it. And you have forums, like we're on forums like Best Buy and CNET. If you go to those forums, there's somebody from Samsung that's dedicated to that forum, answering questions, helping people. But what if people don't want to go on an email? What if they don't have a TV and don't watch ads? And what if they don't want to be on a forum? Twitter is a way of having that dialogue. And even though there are other services like Twitter was the first one that was that big, and that was that impacting to where Samsung could say, okay, this is our account. We're here to help you. We're here to communicate information, but we're here to also talk about what you care about and be part of your lives. And that's something that we try not to take for granted, because I think a lot of companies are like, okay, we need to do this and this and get these many followers. We try not to take it for granted and take it one day at a time and really get to know some of those people. And then if we're running a contest, we're actually thinking, what would our followers like? What would our community here that is actually following us be interested in? And so if you put them first, sometimes it helps you mold how you do that communication. Of course, you have your business goals and your company goes first, but being customer-centric is the only way in which you can do social media correctly.
Great. So it sounds like what you're saying is, because we've heard what you've heard, which is we have this benchmark and that benchmark. It sounds like Samsung is very fluid in terms of how you're defining your social media strategy, and it's working. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, and I think, Samsung is a very metrics-based company, and so when I say all these things that might not come out, but we have, KPIs, we are actually benchmarking to see how are we doing against other companies, and I think all that you do behind what people see within the company, of measuring things, of seeing small and big wins, of going beyond to try to understand what it is that you're doing and measuring those results, those are essential. But from the customer point of view, you have to have an attitude of, okay, we're helping you. We're here to serve you, to help you out, to listen to what you're saying. And so that's where the customer-centric approach comes in.
That's great. And what do you see, this is a question that everyone kind of has to think about for a second, but what would you like to see happen in social media for corporations, that would help you and every other corporation here in the next year happen? What needs to happen more than anything?
Yeah, I think companies have to really take it seriously. A lot of times it just becomes a PR or okay, we're on Twitter and let's advertise it and let's put it everywhere, but the company isn't having that social shift yet. And so there's a lot of disbelief within companies, and yet they're on Twitter, they're advertising it, they're going to conferences saying we're social, but within their own company, people aren't sure if they believe it. So I think you have to really get to the bottom of, do we really believe this? Is this really something that want to make a part of our culture and something that we want to believe. People are always talking about being transparent. Companies can't be fully transparent because they have shareholders, they have employees, they have customers, but you can be as honest as you can be. And so having that cultural shift, I don't know if you've read Charlene Lee's book, Hope in Leadership, things like that, the high-level strategy, getting to the point where the CEO is listening and understanding. And I think other things like the social media budgets and the social media employees and the managers will come from that. And with that belief of companies in social media will come better tools, will come better measuring tools, will come all kinds of things, because once there's money and interest involved, then you have companies that are living off of creating apps for Twitter or for Facebook. So it becomes, the whole ecosystem becomes more exciting and more real than just saying that you're social when maybe you're not.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You gave a great presentation. We love it. And actually, you've been retweeted again and again. You said something that people retweeted. You said, try not to outsource your company's soul.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant.
I hope I didn't steal that from somebody else.
You'll get it. You'll find out on
I'll
Twitter.
find
Believe
out.
me, yeah, you'll get that angry tweet.
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.